I should mention that you got Frankenstein, and then you got Curse of Frankenstein as introduced by John Carpenter. It's gonna be on the Watch TCM app. What am I even saying? Curse of Frankenstein is a very interesting film on the basis of it's like the first Frankenstein adaptation. Someone was asking if I've read the books. I love Frankenstein. I love Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I don't think any Frankenstein film has really ever come close to the book. They've all done their interpretations. So they've done well by the word adaptation, where they're taking it and approaching it in a different way. But no one's really done Mary Shelley's story, which is a very layered book. Here's this happening here, and this feeds into this, which feeds into this. I think it helps that my first big reading experiences were with things like Animorphs, which were innately first-person perspectives, and then when you get to Frankenstein, it's like, oh, so this is the perfected version of that. But going back, Curse of Frankenstein is the first true Hammer horror, because Universal had done their horror interpretations, which is very shocking, I think, to 1930s perspectives. But by the time we're reaching the late 50s, into the 60s, into the 70s, we needed a monster to be scary. I mean, we talk about this is running concurrent with the beginnings of the domestic horror situation. By the 70s, we're beginning the era of the slashers. Just barely, but we are. So like by the end of the Hammer horror run, Rosemary's Baby and Exorcist is happening. And so I think if you want to have a monster movie, you really got to put your money where your mouth is in terms of scare, which not only was part of the directive, but also part of the directive was to make it distinct and different from the Universal interpretation. And thus, Curse of Frankenstein is the first X-rated monster movie of all time, the first truly terrifying movie. I say X-rated, but we're talking about like British X-rated. It was for adults, and the version that Christopher Lee plays, the version of Frankenstein, is a certainly scarier artifice. But I certainly do think the designs get scarier over time, to the point where, like, you know, I really love Evil of Frankenstein. That's a good one. Really set in motion this whole thing. It's in color. I think that's the other big thing. Blood and guts in color is a big deal. And this movie went a long way to influence the type of work that would end up being done by both titans of horror in John Carpenter. Tim Burton is very much in there, but even Martin Scorsese has a deep love that he's often spoken for Curse of Frankenstein and the Hammer horror franchise. This is just an amazing movie. Peter Cushing is fantastic. Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, Hazel Court. You don't want to miss it. Thank you for watching Turner Classic Companion, your one-stop shop for what plays on TCM, the Criterion Channel, wherever you find amazing classic films. Thank you.